Yes, a very warm welcome to this event. We are together celebrating International Women's Day 2022. And to mark the beginning of the event, I request Aarti Yadav, who is the coordinator of this event, to play the national anthem of Ethiopia, followed by India, to mark the respect. Thank you so much. Aarti, you can start.
Request everyone to stand in. I hope the screen is visible to everyone. Is it visible?
Yes. Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, everyone. Now, followed by this is the national anthem of India. Request everyone to keep standing.
शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. I request everyone to keep the cameras on to ensure the liveliness of the event.
Aarti, please record the meeting because they are asking for the recorded session. Who is recording the session? Radhika, are you recording?
Auntie, I don't have the recording system with me, so I won't be able to do that.
Who's going to record the session because we need the live recording of this. The Google Meet, I think Aarti, you can record. You can press the button of recording, right? Okay, till the time she takes on. So I request everyone to switch on the camera. All of you, please switch on the camera. There is one special gesture I want everyone to do. That is, put your hands like this. This is the break the bias gesture for United Nations. That is, and please take a screenshot. Whosoever is not doing it can do that. I think the males can do. Please take few screenshots of this because we want the DP of the event to be put like this. This is break the bias of United Nations. Here we go, and we move towards a step of equity and equality. We really want all the biases to be over, and we pledge that we are not going to do any kind of injustice, inequity towards any woman in this world. So we take a pledge. All of you, please say with me, today I pledge. All of you, please. Today I pledge that there will not be any kind of discrimination, inequity, unjust activity with any woman in this world. All of you, please together break the bias.
Break the bias.
So let
Ma'am, you're on mute.
So to mark the event, let me just give you some insights about the Debre Tabor University, that is DTU. First of all, my heartfelt thanks to the university for having an international tie-up with PSLAM Educational Trust. We are really indebted. Thank you very much for all the deans and directors who are a part of this event. Let me give you some introduction about DTU. DTU was established in the year 2008 on 126 hectare of land in the eastern part town of Debre Tabor. Its foundation stone was laid by Edis Legin, the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, and Depe Kenon, Vice President of Amra Regional State, and the current Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Its training mission, however, was delayed for 3 years until the necessary input like building, lab equipment, human resource, administrative structures are fulfilled. Its actual mission of admitting and training the students therefore began in 2001 in 5 faculties. There are Faculty of Social Science, Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Business and Economics, and Faculty of Engineering. Today, all the 5 faculties are promoted to a rank of college as their capacity has continuously grown since then. A new college, the College of Medicine, was also established later and has become one of the leading medical institutions in the country. And its graduates are more proficient than graduate. And of course, it is a way forward that university is showing benchmarking towards the excellence of quality, etc. The Debre Tabor University began its task of teaching with 628 students, 124 teaching staffs, and 71 assistant professors. And DTU has reached at a capacity of accommodating 35,000 students in a regular weekend and the summer programs. Currently, DTU has about 1,200 teaching staff and nearly 800 administrative workers, which is a huge. So a huge round of applause for their achievements. Thank you so much for being partnering with us in the celebration of International Women's Day 2022. Now I request Aarti to call upon our guest speakers of today from Ethiopia. So please read their profiles and call them for a talk so that they can enlighten us with their words of wisdom.
Thank you, ma'am. Before I do that, I wish everyone day. My salutations and greetings to all. May all the women in this world attain equity as well as equality. I would like to call upon our guest of honor,
Mm,
I
Can
could
I
please
speak?
call them in. Yeah,
Can I speak?
yeah, just 1 minute. Let us formally invite you. You are our
Okay, fine.
guest.
Kindly excuse the interruption. May I please request Dr. Fireworth to come upon the stage? Ms. Fireworth has done PhD in Economy in Indian Agriculture Research Institute from New Delhi, India. She has done MSc from Havasa University, Ethiopia. She has done BSc in Horticulture from Makeda University, Utopia. She has done several short-term trainings, including China Aid short-term training, university governance, and Utopia. She has a wide employment history, including Delhi University as assistant professor as well as lecturer. She is the vice president for business development and strategic partnership with Debre Tabor University. Ma'am, please enlighten us with your words.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Uh, Excellencies, representatives, esteemed panelists, beautiful ladies, good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of Debre Tabor University, it gives me a great pleasure and privilege for me to welcome you all to our joint celebration of International Women's Days of 2022 between Debre Tabor University and PSLAM Educational Trust in India. It is well experienced to most of us. We are celebrating the 2022 Women's Days with a theme, Gender Equality Today for Sustainable Tomorrow, which aims to recognize women who are working to build a more sustainable future. Every year, International Women's Day is celebrating on March 8th across the world. It is a day when everyone sorry. It is a day when everyone shows appreciation, love, and respect towards women. A woman is said to be a beautiful creation of God. It is a fact that all the great personalities are born from the woman womb and have taken their initial teaching from a woman. For many people, the role of women is limited to household chores only. However, this needs to change as women deserve equal freedom and opportunity in everything like men. The world is moving towards gender equality. It is moving towards a balance between both men and women. International Women's Day is all about feeling self-worth and achieving the goal as per the potential. Women's equal participation and benefits allow us economies to grow faster, lift people out of poverty, opening the pathway further towards sustainable development. Our success in achieving sustainable development goal will depend on the strength of our cooperation, partnership with government, civil and private sector, agency, and between each other, men and women are essential. Excellencies, distinguishing. And finally, we have to highlight timely and sex disregard data is very crucial for policy making. Today, we are here to discuss how to build equal partnership between women and men for the benefits of all of us. In this context, I would say that women have an important but often less acknowledged role and responsibilities. On this International Women's Day, let us rejuvenate our effort for better world, realizing the equal as the Debre Tabor University as our institutional data shows that 30%, 6% of our academic staffs are females. That means they are engaged in research and teaching. 41.8% of our administrative staffs are females. And when we come to high-level position, including me, we are 25% high-level positions are engaged with women, and 6.88% medium-level positions are engaged with females. The challenge of the future, we will continue to support women leaders and advance gender equality at university level and at national and at international at large. Dear participants, distinguished guests, and organizers of this special event, on behalf of Debre Tabor University and myself, I would like to add my thanks to Dr. Kumar, who is the Business and Economics Faculty staff of Debre Tabor University, and he is an Indian expert, and also College of Business and Economics of Debre Tabor University, and Professor Namita Rajput, President of PSLAM Educational Trust India, for hosting this important event. I would like also to thank the speakers and everyone who has participated for this insightful and heartfelt contribution. And finally, I hope the event will be interested and constructive to all of us. I look forward to discussion. We are here to share our experience, learn from each other, and pool our effort, build partnership, and help guiding policy. Thank you for your attention, and I wish a successful event. And also, I thank you all, and happy International Women's Days to all of us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Farwood, for sharing your insights and talking about the entrepreneurial startups, how we can achieve the equity and equality, and also empowerment. So we were really enlightened by your words of wisdom. Now I request Aarti to call upon the next guest speaker from Ethiopia.
We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make women's voice are heard, heeded, and not overlooked and ignored. With this thought, I call upon stage Sajid Ashigri Dimisi. Madam Dimisi is the TEAL instructor. She is MA in Gender and Development Studies. Ma'am, please enlighten us with your words. Ma'am,
Please
you are
unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. You're not audible. Please unmute yourself. You're not audible. Please unmute yourself. Segit. We are not able to hear you. We are not able to hear you. Please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Uh, my name is Sagada Shagri. I have about 20 years teaching experience, starting from junior secondary and high school. Then I have graduated in TEFL in 2015 and Gender and Development Studies in 2016. Since I'm very interested to be concerned about gender issues, as I am a teacher of students, at the end of the day, most of the students who are not successful in their academic achievement may drift into sexual work and commercial sex work and other unnecessary activities. So that is why I attend Gender and Development Studies. But unfortunately, I couldn't join within that stream, and I joined university within teaching English for foreign learners. I joined Debre Tabor University in 2019 as a lecturer of TEFL. And I'd like to share what I prepared within my research work, the lived experience of commercial sex workers in the case of Bahar Dar city. And I would like to share the PowerPoint I prepared. Okay. Okay, let me present orally since I couldn't get. Okay, when I conducted the research on the lived experience of commercial sex workers, most of the females, women and girls drift into the stream because of lack of financial income that support their life. When they divorce from their marriage and their parents separate because of different reasons and because of days of their parents, they become helpless and they join the stream as commercial sex workers. Okay, as you have seen here, the first reason how the participants in my research drift or join into the commercial sex work is lack of access to education. Most of illiterates, they migrate from rural area toward the city and unfortunately they join the stream. The other one is underhanded by stereotype and other individuals. They can sell their body and survive having income for their life. And parents' days, as I mentioned earlier, orphanage may lead them towards commercial sex work, and parent separation or breakdown that leads them even after marriage. Some women, when they get divorced from their husband, they are drift into commercial sex work to upbring their children and to manage their livelihood requirements. And some little ladies, they join this stream because of family conflict. When they have any disagreement within their family, unknowingly they join. And due to early marriage, it is a widespread experience within the Ethiopian ladies, since about 85% of the population is rural population. They join the stream. And let's come to what consequences they confront within this stream. For themselves, as I interviewed them, they have got positive consequence or positive impact since they joined the stream, and they have got threats or challenges in their economy. As a positive consequence or impact of joining this stream, they express that they are equipped with economic advantage and they rear their children having their own source of income, affording school fee for their children. And some students, they interrupt their education or they become dropout and join this stream. After that, privately, they afford school fee, having source of income from this work and overcoming financial burden for their family and for their own, and supporting relatives, including their parents. And economically, they assume they are empowered even if they sell their body. When they explain about the threats or the challenges they face within their income, they explain internal and external threats. As internal, by themselves, internally, to spend their time alert at night. They are addicted within drug taking and competitive nature of the work. To attract their customers, they dress well, they use makeups, cosmetics, and the like. They waste the money they have got selling their body. And external threats, owner of brothels or nightclubs, bar, hotel, in our locality, Araki and Talla Beats, the owners share their income. Once they have got the money from their clients, these owners share their income. And theft and denial of their clients or the payment they have got from their clients, and they spend the money they gained from commercial sex work for house rent and the like. So the other one, negative consequences they experienced on their work is the first one, they suffer from psychosocial experiences, health-related consequences and challenges with their clients. From the psychosocial, most of the community do not understand why they join the stream. They assume that when physically they are seen attractive and pretty, so they join within their interest or willingness. The community assume, and verbally and physically they are abused by the community or surrounding society. They may be stigmatized, negatively impressed by the surrounding community, and they are discriminated. And sarcasm is the main challenge they face or confront. They are looked down by the community. Within their health-related experience, when I interviewed some of my participants, among the team participants, I conducted phenomenology research and in-depth interview was used. And from 10, 4 of the participants were HIV positive, and they were infected with syphilis, heart attack, and blood pressure and nerve complexity. As I mentioned above, they used drug, cigarette, and the like. It is related to that usage. Challenges with clients, denial of the money, they agreed first, making unconscious using the local smoking that is called ganja, and brutal treatment, and STI or sexually transmitted infection vulnerability. They experienced all these things. That is why I raised this issue under the International Women's Day, is that these individuals did not get any opportunity to air their view or internal problem for anyone. So I touched upon this main issue to have awareness for my sisters and my colleagues all over the world. As a coping mechanism, these ladies and commercial sex workers used the first one, uncover or conceal their work and status. The other one, when they're depressed and feel hopeless, they smoke cigarette to forget their agony. And to some extent, they cooperate with their workmates, means they work like themselves who join commercial sex work. And even if it is a very devastating life, leading their life in commercial sex work, they said that they tolerate everything against clients' bad behavior, and they use negotiation with their clients for their survival. At the end of the day, what they said, we have a plan for our future life. Some of them said, we save money, and at the end, if possible, we try to have groceries, laundry room, and the like, and we try to detach from this worst life choice. Generally, sex work may be their only viable means of generating income in the face of high unemployment country like Ethiopia. But we are very fortunate since we are found in a government and work, and we can manage our life having our own source of income, and the way we can air our feelings. So lastly, I would like, let's air their view to stop selling their body and join, let them or lead them join productive workers. I hope we stand and work together hand in hand to bring equality and equity, empower distribution and resource management to redress these needy and unseen individuals who are suffering a lot. Having this in relation to their sufferings, particularly with commercial sex workers, not only this, within the working stream, I didn't touch upon the points in relation to Debre Tabor University, since my representative, Dr. Freyot, addressed everything which is experienced in the university. So, cross-cutting strategies to alleviate the problem and bring equity and equality within the gender stream. Gender means mainstreaming. We are not, as on behalf of myself, within myself, I am not standing only for my sisters, only for women. For men and women, there should be equality in resource, in social interaction, in political participation, and in academic intellectual situations. We should have equity and equality, promoting concerned efforts and networking to enhance joint programs. If we join only focusing on one gender, that is female, males may act as our opponent rather than supporter of our idea. So we should work in having joint program with our male counterparts, and we should share information and best practices among like-minded organizations, such as coordinated effort, which will contribute to the effective and efficient use of human, financial, and material resources, and who will contribute to enhance successful implementation of the initiatives against commercial sex workers exploitation and totally women exploitation. Even a working lady cannot have full right within her income or within her earning. A man may be having superpower to have the responsibility on her income. So not only these unemployed individuals, even employed individuals are suffering from their full rights. And we should celebrate important wins that are gained by model women. And we should create a sense of community, and we should have telling stories, recognizing individuals' contribution ahead of their participation, and reinforce every individual. According to the United Nations Secretary General International Women's Day, a pivotal moment for women's rights, some actions that should be taken to further empower women, like raise our voice, support each other, standing hand in hand, and we should stand on our feet. Human rights and women's rights. So now know our rights, struggle for our rights, educate our next generation, treat everyone non-discriminating, and human rights. So lastly, I'd like to say the first expression, that is in relation to we should reflect rather than celebrate Women's International Day. What should be reflected? Not our success, our discriminatory parties and the things that are not taken into consideration to equalize women like men. This is all about what I would like to air within this program.
So thank you so much. It was excellent piece of research work, and we could move forward by knowing the consequences of the sex workers, what challenges it puts on the society, etc. So my greetings and salutations to both our guest speakers from Ethiopia. You have really enlightened us and given us the very important information. And together on this platform and future to come, we are going to collaborate on various forums with you and move forward with the journey of equity and equality. So now moving forward to the program, I would just like to add few words, and then I'm going to call our first Indian speaker, that is Professor Dr. Namita Rajput. So National Women's Day, when you talk about, it is the biggest employee engagement day of the year, right? And the focus on the women advancement does not begin nor end on 8 March. The International Women's Day, nor can an action embracing the diversity, equity, and inclusion be limited to just only one day, that is 8th of March. International Women's Day however, does provide a very significant and important moment for the organizations. It amplify and reinforce their commitment to the women advancement, highest key steps being taken and reflect on the impact, identify the further areas of action, and celebrate the women's achievement. I mean, there are a number of programs which are organized across the globe today, and they are applauding the achievement which has been done by women in the different fields. There are some regulatory pushes by the various governments to put in place the equity and equality as far as the women is concerned. And to my knowledge and to my information, these regulatory pushes, passing of particular acts, laws are very, very essential, because these give a big push towards attaining the equity and equality as far as the gender is concerned across the globe. So, whereas when you talk about the patriarchal society, when you talk about the challenges which the Indian women face are manifolds, and of course, we need to put end to it, and we have to break the vices, of course, as I said in the beginning. So now I call upon our first Indian speaker, that is Professor Dr. Mamta Sharma. She is a principal in a constituent college of University of Delhi, that is Aditi Mahavidyalaya, which is a rural college, and she's doing an excellent job as far as the rural development is concerned, as far as the women empowerment is concerned, as far as the gender sensitization is concerned. She's teaching in Delhi University for about 3 decades, and almost like 22 years in Kirodimal College, and she's a principal for last 5 years and 11 months. She's doing a lot of good research work, and has been a principal investigator in many of the research projects. And she has a lot of patents and copyrights to her credit. There are a lot of people who are doing research under her able guidance. She's a author of number of very good books. She's being awarded so many awards, international and national. She's a chairperson of many faculty development programs, especially when you talk about the new education policy in India, and has done many good short-term courses from esteemed universities across the globe. So I call upon Professor Dr. Mamta Sharma to share her words of wisdom to celebrate International Women's Day, 8 March 2022. So on to Professor Mamta Sharma. We're looking forward for your views.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, but please switch on your video.
Video I cannot, because I'm on the mobile data, because I'm traveling right now. So I'll just speak, and then maybe at a later stage I'll share my video, because you can see that I just switch it on. I'm traveling actually. Okay.
Still, you
So
are looking.
thank you, Professor Namita. Thank you, Professor Namita. And greetings to all of you on the International Women's Day 2022. I would like to thank the organizers, Dr. Haraj, and their Vice President of Business and Development of D2 Ethiopia, Professor Namita Rajput, President, Education Department, PSLAM Educational Trust, my co-speakers, Professor Anuradha, Principal of WIP, Dr. Shivani, Dr. Jyotsna, Dr. Anjali. The word commemorates the Women's Day today under the hashtag, as has already been mentioned, break the bias. As the word celebrates, we take a look at the global day that has shaped the society by highlighting the issues that have affected the woman for many years. International Women's Day, celebrated annually on March 8th, is a day that commemorates the social, political, and economic achievements of the woman. Women in different parts of the world use this day to come together to celebrate one another, rally of equal treatment. And the theme of International Women's Day 2022 is gender equality today for sustainable development. This year's campaign is represented by the Break the Bias hashtag and calls on people to work towards the word which is equitable, inclusive, and free from bias and discrimination. So the playing field is leveled for the women to move forward. Well, the theme of today's is a land of paradoxes. It is a land of contradiction and inexplicable contortions. It is a land where the women are worshipped as goddesses, and yet, year after year, the number of women per thousand men, more commonly known as the sex ratio in India, and the number of missing girls in India continues to reflect what Indians really think about women. The State of World Population Report 2020 by UNFPA states that there are 924 women per 1,000 men in India. The same report mentions that there are 46 million missing girls in India, one out of every three in the world. This is due to the sex selective abortions and female feticide rampant in urban and rural areas alike in India. And for those girls who survive, things turn more and more terrible with every passing year of their life. It is a small wonder then that is the area of education too. Girls are specially disadvantaged. In a country where the literacy rate is 74.37%, the female literacy rate continues to lag behind significantly at 53.7%, with a gap of 21.6 points, and that is at the national level. The girl faces many layers of impediments in receiving the quality education, and reports suggest that some of these problems are likely to be exacerbated by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, with another layer added to it, and that is of technological divide. This is another layer of discrimination against girls. I can quote here that in my college, when the online classes are happening, the girl who is joining online has to depend on one phone that the whole family shares. So you can imagine that how much she is going to attend. One of the fundamental barriers that the woman child has to tackle is the inherent bias favoring the male child in the Indian households, which makes families unwilling to spend on the education of the girl child. The girl child is usually expected to learn domestic chores and help the housekeeping and caring of her younger siblings. Here, there is a perceptible difference in the school dropouts. The dropout rate of the girl rises significantly after the secondary education, according to some studies done under the Child Rights and Youth, that is CRY. Net enrollment ratio for girls dips from 88.7% at primary to 51.93% at the secondary, and to a dismissal 32.6 at the higher secondary level. 25 girls enrolled drops out after the past 8. The figures are very, very disturbing. And they are connected to the onset of the menstrual age of the girls, where not only the availability, but the actual functioning of safe and hygienic toilets becomes a crucial factor for their continued education. As a girl child grows older, safety issues become even more pertinent, and a long journey of the school often poses a real threat to life and liberty of the child, making the continued education a hazardous proportion. In India, child marriage too remains an unfortunate reality. Yes, it's a reality in these days also. According to the UNICEF report, nearly 27% of the girls get married under the age of 18 every year. And this is likely to be pushed by 20% due to COVID-19 induced lockdown and subsequent migrant crisis this year. All these myriad problems ridden the girl's life, stealing her childhood and fun-filled carefree days of school, and that is every child's birthright, but they are deprived of that. The new education policy 2020, India's first education policy of the 21st century, could be a thin hope, a thin ray of hope for seemingly unemitting darkness in the quest of girls' education. The policy seems to address the many shortcomings of our existing education system and sets itself lofty ideals to its end. It endorses the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 4, universal access to the quality education, and promises to transform the Indian education system such that by 2040 it will be second to none of the world. The NEP is remarkable in having recognized the importance of integrated cross-disciplinary education and skill development as the crucial needs of the hour. The policy talks about certain vital issues which, if implemented to any degree, could potentially revolutionize the Indian education system. The policy recognizes teachers to be the center of education system and promotes teacher welfare and on-the-job training as central to the vibrant and well-rounded higher education experience for the students. It underscores the importance of nurturing the child's cognitive development not only in isolation but in conjunction with other capacities like social, ethical, and emotional development. The policy aims to shift the lens of education such that it is rooted firmly in the traditional and profoundly varied knowledge and cultural heritage of India. To the end, it has been recommended that the medium of instruction in schools and colleges be made in the local vernacular language of the region till class 5, but preferably till 8th class, grade 8. This decision is also in keeping with the research results that demonstrate that children absorb more in their mother tongue. It is a brave and commendable stance to take, particularly at a time where the increased Anglicization of thought and culture seems to be a very global norm. The government must be applauded for this nuanced move, not only towards improving learning outcomes, but also in its effort to revitalize the Indian knowledge, languages, and traditions that may be at a risk of getting lost forever in this intensely homogenizing world. The girl child, too, has the same some reason to be hopeful. The policy recognizes the additional barriers in education that beset the female education, and four distinct socio-economically disadvantaged groups have been identified within this policy. And in every segment of these four groups, we have 50% representation of females. So it is an additional disadvantage due to exclusivity to their gender. Important measures have been enlisted towards reducing the disparity of female dropouts in the schools, especially by reinforcing the infrastructural credibility of government schools that will ensure the availability of safe, hygienic, and fully functioning toilets. Since personal safety becomes a key issue and key reason for female dropouts, provisions for creating walking groups, distribution of bicycles, proven to have improved the female attendance in the schools, particularly in the high grades. And let me mention today at Aditi Mahavidyalaya, we inaugurated the beach box for the females. so that is totally operational by the female police staff, and it will be on call immediately outside the campus that the problems would be addressed. Then we have additionally instruction and awareness campaigns regarding menstrual health that can equip the girls to deal with the integral but inevitable difficult aspect of femininity more effectively. As for the issue of nutrition, since while the broadening of the midday meal system is there, a simple nutritious breakfast has been mentioned in the new education policy. The policy recognizes the importance of building community states and involvement of children education. When we talk about equity and inclusion in higher education, the government has taken up the actions that are specific to higher education, initiated by all government and education institutions, like earmark suitable government funds for the education of SEDGs, which I've already referred to, the special groups that have been identified, set clear targets for higher GER for the SEDGs, enhance the gender balance in the admissions, enhance the access by establishing more quality, higher quality, higher education institutions in aspirational districts, and special education zones have been identified under this policy. Develop and support high quality higher education institutions that teach in the local language or bilingually they teach. So public hygiene, financial assistance, scholarships, outreach programs, and the technological tools. The access to the technological tools for better participation and learning outcomes. This would mitigate the opportunity, cost, and fees for pursuing the higher education. And we are very, very hopeful that when this is going to happen, we would be into a equitable and inclusive education. No child would lose any opportunity to learn and excel. And the socially, economically disadvantaged groups with gender identities, etc., socio-cultural identities, geographical identities, disabilities, all these would be addressed where the 50% of the stakeholders are female. So, and this policy also refers to a separate gender inclusion fund that will be there for these special education zones in the disadvantaged regions and groups. So we are very, very hopeful, I feel, that this is going to be a reality. And I will conclude that I cannot find words to express. I cannot find words to express how I feel about women, their strength and power, their ability to keep their heads up no matter what. I admire it on every possible level. Girls run the world, and the only thing I know for sure is that let the sky be your crown and the earth be your dais. Wishing everybody once again a happy Women's Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Namita Sharma, for such an enlightening words of wisdom. So it's very important to say a particular quote. It's very hard to be a woman. You must think like a man, act like a lady, look like a young girl, and work like a horse. So, this is the difficulty of being a woman. So on this note, I call upon now Professor Dr. Shivani Varmani, who's an associate professor in biomedical sciences from Bhaskaracharya College of Applied Sciences, University of Delhi, since 2005. She has more than 16 years of teaching and learning experience and the research experience. She obtained her master's in medical biotechnology from Department of Biotechnology, AIMS, that is All India Medical Sciences, and went to do her PhD in biochemistry from AIMS. During her PhD tenure, she went to a training program at a University of Hamburg, Germany. She is a recipient of many prestigious scholarships and fellowships, such as Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fellowship, AIMS Institute Fellowship, Lady Tata Memorial Fellowship, etc. And the list is very, very long. So, cutting short, I call upon Shivani Vermani to share her views, and I request all the dignitary speakers to be very, very brief as we are running short of time and we need to end the program by 6:30. So, please be very crisp, brief, and share your key points. Thank you so much. Shivani, you can start with your discourse.
Can you hear me?
Please. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Professor Namita. I'm humbled by your introduction. So, if life is a rainbow, we are certainly the colors in it. And if life is dark, we are like candles in the wind. Happy Women's Day to all the awesome and gorgeous ladies who make this world a beautiful place by just being on it. So many flowers are needed to make a garland. Thousands of lamps are needed to decorate an aarti. Thousands of drops are needed to make the sea. But a woman alone is enough to make the house and the world a paradise to live by. Warm greetings and regards to everyone present on this beautiful evening of International Women's Day. I take this opportunity to thank Sam and Professor Namita Rajput and all the organizers from the Partnering Institute and all the esteemed speakers over here for giving me this opportunity to speak up what I feel. Speaking about the life of a woman and multitasking, we can see her in varied pivotal roles possible. Since I'm a teacher, let me cite an example and a life of a female teacher who is not only a mother to her children, tries to give her all virtues and build the character of her children, but almost a mother to every student she teaches. She not only gives her conceptual knowledge, but takes utmost care to ignite the young minds and build character who can go on to build nation. First thing she does is she reaches on time for her teaching after sending her children in time to their study places, workplaces, as she wants them to be very disciplined and punctual. She knows that the discipline is the first virtue she should teach her children and students. As to get success and be happy in your life, to be disciplined is utmost important. Also emphasized in the first Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Atha Yoga Anushasanam, which literally means now the discipline of yoga began. Yoga is not just exercise, it is the way of life. Speaking not only of teachers, we have women leading in all spheres of life as entrepreneurs, doctors, engineers, administrators, actresses, models, scientists, and even as defense personnels. Women are representing the country nationally and internationally in almost all fields, whether it's sports, business, or fashion. Speaking about the lady living in the rural part, they're also pretty good at multitasking. She does all the household chores, helps her better half in the field or pottery or even work in cottage industry, takes care of her children and family too. Woman has taken up important role in the development of any nation. Swami Vivekananda ji rightly stated, there is no chance for the welfare of the world unless the condition of the woman is improved. It is not possible for a bird to fly on one wing. He realized and emphasized that life is not possible without a woman. Taking pain of childbearing and giving birth and brings joy to the family, taking all the toll on herself most happily. The beautiful, multifaceted, and multitasking role is exemplified by 10 hands and 9 forms of Goddess Durga. She is simple as Sita, humble as Lakshmi, and bold as Kali. Oldest scriptures, Rig Veda, too narrated, high of woman. Women are as Grehe Lakshmi, fortune of goddess. I would like to end my speech with a beautiful poem I came across in my mother language, Hindi. नारी ईश्वर का चमत्कार, नारी सरस्वती का रूप हो तुम, नारी लक्ष्मी का स्वरूप हो तुम, बढ़ जाए जब अत्याचारी, नारी दुर्गा काली का रूप हो तुम, नारी खुशियों का संसार हो तुम, नारी प्रेम का आगाज हो तुम, जो घर आंगन को रोशन करे, नारी सूरज की सुनहरी किरण हो तुम, नारी ममता का सम्मान हो तुम, नारी संस्कारों की जान हो तुम, स्नेह प्यार और त्याग की नारी इकलौती पहचान हो तुम। नारी कभी कोमल फूल गुलाब हो तुम, नारी कभी शक्ति का अवतार हो तुम तेरे रूप अनेक, नारी ईश्वर का चमत्कार हो तुम। I have tried to translate this masterpiece in English so that all my friends and colleagues can understand. Woman is miracle of God. You are the form of goddess Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge. You are embodiment of goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity. When the evil deeds and spirit increases in this world, you take the form of goddess Kali. You are the word of happiness. You are center of love. You are the golden ray of sun that illuminates the home and the world. You nurture the child with love and care. Your affection, unconditional love, sacrifice, and untiring efforts for your family is indispensable and most appreciated. Sometimes you're as soft as flour, other times you're as embodiment of power, that is Shakti. You are at your best in different forms. Woman, you are simply a miracle of God. Thank you very much. With love, affection, and dedication to my mother, the most beautiful, affectionate, and talented woman I have ever known, I rest my speech. Earlier, I thought being a scientist, I should speak about women and science, but then I thought, let me make a humble philosophical effort to remind you all of not so easy but yet powerful journey and role of a woman. Last but not the least, I would like to leave you all with a powerful verse from Manusmriti, a Vedic scripture. Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devata, which means where women are honored, divinity blossom, and where women are dishonored, all actions, no matter how noble, remains unfruitful. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Yeah. Shivani, I must applaud you for such a wonderful speech
Thank you, sir.
and in such simple words. And nutshell, the meaning of her speech is that women is everything. Women is everything. So now I call upon Aarti to call the rest of the speakers, and please limit your time to 2 to 3 minutes only. Thank you so much. Aarti, please take over.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all the speakers for such beautiful words, such valuable insights and perspectives. This reminds me of something. There is no tool better for development, more effective for development than empowerment of women. With this thought, I call upon stage Miss Aishwarya Katyal. Miss Aishwarya is an academician, research scholar, and she has completed her bachelor's, master's from University of Delhi. She has done a PhD in the same discipline and then now request Ms. Aishwarya to enlighten us with her thoughts.
Thank you very much, Aarti. Warm greetings to everybody in Ethiopia. Immense love from India. I'm happy to be in your company this evening. And I will be talking on um, trans women in contemporary world, overcoming roadblocks and inclusion. So, why, you may ask, we should talk about trans women today? It's Women's Day, International Women's Day. And why is it that we have to talk about them? Agree or not, but they are one of us, trans women. These are the women that were not born into a woman's body, but are women by their very spirit. They are migrants into the herd identity of women because they feel like a woman, even though their gender markers may tell otherwise. These women have struggled immensely and continue to fight and affirm their gender against extraordinary pressure, expectation, bias, discrimination, misunderstanding, and sexism that shape their quotidian experiences. It is the exclusion of trans women from the category of women in general that makes their struggle tougher and invalidates the entire purpose of living as a woman. Not just in our country, but in the world in general, there's still a long way to go for trans people to have the same rights as everyone else. And it was recently in the studies that it was suggested that these women, trans women, they're 6 times more vulnerable than cis women Cis women are women, who have there's no discrepancy in what sex is assigned to them at birth and how they identify. So trans women are, they may be born into a man's body, but they feel like a woman on the inside. Across the lived experiences, transgender people have a much harder time than cisgender people in meeting their basic needs. Take, for instance, 67% of unhoused transgender youth report that they were forced out or ran away from home as a result of their gender identity. And 1/4 of transgender people report experiencing housing discrimination when seeking a place to live. So, something as simple as living is so difficult for such women, trans women, and 49% of transgender people do not progress beyond high school compared to 39% of cisgender people. And the ordeal does not end here. This discrimination and, their stigmatized identity, it actually affects their overall existence, and it permeates into different spheres. And transgender people these days are emerging from the margins to fight for an equal place in society, but things are still difficult for them. New policies and, of course, trans activism and their supporters are pushing for changes in schools, hospitals, workplaces, prisons, and the military. And, but there's still a long way to go. And being transgender today often means facing not only stigma, but also increasing threats to safety and existence, whether it's high level of deadly violence or encountering unemployment or housing discrimination. There's a long list of what needs to be addressed. The theme of this year's International Women's Day, as we celebrated in the beginning of the ceremonies, break the bias. So it asks us to imagine a gender equal world, a world free of bias and discrimination, a world that is inclusive and where difference is valued and celebrated. So today, I urge you to ask yourself, are you really willing to break the bias? Right? So women's rights and feminist movements over the centuries have won important battles of equality and representation. We still have too much to fight for together. And if we do not fight together, our energies will be wasted. And this Women's Day, let us reflect on our bias and how we can extend our feminist actions to support trans women. And not just trans women, there also have to be, lesbians. There also have to be gender non-binary people, two spirits, people who identify as male and females both. Yes, so as put by, in the words of Karen Price, courageous feminism means no woman must be left behind, and that means trans women too. So I urge you to, work towards ways in which we could stand together in a united front and work for the upliftment of our trans sisters, because this is the time they need us most, since it's a day for a collective call to action for accelerating gender equality in all areas of life. I urge you to acknowledge, uplift, and sensitize people about transgender women, along with lesbian, bisexual, and genderqueer, gender non-binary people. And this action has to be not just today, but it has to be throughout the year. We have to make contributions towards this all year long. So this world becomes a better, equal, inclusive world where these people, they feel safe. They are our sisters after all, and we have to treat them as ourselves. So that is all I have to say for today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Ashwarya. It was really nice to know the new nuances of the transgender. So I request Aarti to call upon the next speaker.
Next, we have with us Ms. Radhika Katyal, a research scholar and a social activist. She has done her Bachelor's of Commerce from Guru Gobind Singh College of Commerce, Delhi University. She's working on LGBTQAI community through her social work and advocacy. Ma'am, please enlighten us with your thoughts, ideas on the topic.
Please unmute yourself, Radhika. You're not audible. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be amongst all you wonderful ladies. And thank you, Divya. And today I'm going to be talking about powerful women in the so called man's world, some stories of inspiration. I'm going to begin with a quote from Mark Shelley. It says, I do not wish for women to have power over men, but over themselves. Gone are the days when women were considered to be good for household chores and caregiving only. The current generation is recognizing women in ways that has never been done before. These eminent women have broken the glass ceilings. They have pushed the frontiers of women leadership and have paved the path for other women and girls to follow suit. From their stance, they have shown that when a woman's voice is heard, when she participates in decision making, and when she exercises leadership, she brings in something unique, something special, and something of high quality. Celebrating women in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. Today, I'm going to be talking about one such great woman entrepreneur of our times, that is Indira Nui. She's a former CEO of Pepsi Company. She's retired now, and she's currently on the board of directors of Amazon and the Indian Cricket Council, that is the ICC. But during her tenure in the Pepsi Company, the Pepsi's net worth multiplied 80 times. Forbes magazine ranked her from 2008 to 2017 list of the world's most powerful women. And she was also one of the best CEOs in the world. And in 2021, she inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. During an interview, she once mentioned that she had to work twice as hard as her male counterpart just to prove that she was worthy of the job that she was doing. But she never compromised with her quality of work. She's often heard saying in the interviews that how difficult it was for her to maintain her work-life balance. A mother of two daughters, she recalls feeling guilty for not being able to attend several activities at her daughter's school and doubts if her daughter thinks if she's a good mother. And like Indira Nui, there are so many eminent women across the globe that have been a source of inspiration for so many, including myself. Say, for example, Halle Berry, who was the first woman of African descent to have won an Oscar, to Oprah Winfrey. I mean, who doesn't know Oprah Winfrey? Malala, she's a recipient of Nobel Peace Prize. She stood up for what she believed in and also took a bullet for that. And the list goes on. Kamala Harris, Kalpana Chawla, Priyanka Chopra, Viola Davis, Amelia Earhart, Mother Teresa, Ellen DeGeneres, so on and so forth. But what is common in all these women is that they did not give up in spite of their difficult circumstances. Struggles were there in their paths, but through their perseverance and determination, they were able to overcome them all. They were unstoppable. Singer Rihanna beautifully quoted, there is something so special about a woman who dominates in a man's world. It takes a certain grace, intelligence, fearlessness, and the nerve to never take no for an answer. Society needs to accept women for their potential and talent, since there is no limit to what we as women can accomplish. Thank you so much. Happy Women's Day, you all.
Thank you, Radhika, for sharing your views. Now, my friend Anuradha, Professor Dr. Anuradha Jain has joined. So I welcome her on this dais and I request her to share her views on the International Women's Day 2022. So she's a professor and dean and director and principal of Vivekananda Institute of Professional Studies. And she has been doing a lot of activities in terms of research, excellent profile. She's an academician, researcher, and has been doing a lot of work in accreditation of the Higher Education Institute. And she's a consultant for the gender audits and doing a lot of gender sensitization activities. So I call upon, as we're running short of time, to ask her to share her views on the same. So we welcome you, Anuradha. You can start your discourse now.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, happy Women's Day to all the beautiful ladies present here. And thank you, Professor Namita Rajput, for giving me this opportunity to be the part of this great event. In fact, I missed the initial part because I was just traveling and there was some network issue. So without wasting time, I come to the point and the topic which has been given to me on the sustainable development and the role of women. Okay, role of women is very, very important in sustainable development of any economy. And I would say that there is no sustainable development without the women empowerment, without, the important role that women play. Sustainable development depends on an equitable distribution of resources for today and for the future. And it cannot be achieved without gender equality. And women's empowerment is a key factor for achieving sustainable economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. And sustainable development is, broadly defined as development which meets the requirement of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So sustainable development should be a key principle of all the policies and action which are broadly, designed to create a society which is based on freedom, democracy, and respect for fundamental rights, fostering equality of opportunity and solidarity within and between generations. Sustainable development can only be achieved through long term investment in economic, human, and environmental capital. And at present, the female half of the world's human capital is undervalued and underutilized the world over. As a group, women, their potential contribution to economic advances, social progress, and environmental protection have been marginalized. So, better use of the world female population would increase economic growth. It will reduce poverty, enhance societal well being, and help ensure sustainable development of all the countries. So, closing the gender gap depends on enlightened government policies which take gender dimensions into account. And if we talk about SDGs, and that 17 SDGs that has been defined by UN, if you see all the SDGs, all sustainable development goals are directly or indirectly related to women empowerment and women growth. So if I'll just take example of 2 3 sustainable development goals given by UN, and I would try to relate this with all the women empowerment. Like suppose if we talk about SDG 1, which talk about end poverty in all its form everywhere. So they just want to remove poverty from all over the world. That is the first development goal given by the UN. So the end of poverty can only be achieved with the end of gender based discrimination. All over the world, gender inequality makes and keeps women poor, depriving them of basic rights and opportunities for well-being. So women make significant contribution every day from bringing an income to her household as an employed wage earner, or to creating job as an entrepreneur, or by creating or taking care of her family and their elders. Now if she hopes to someday inherit family property, the law may deprive her of an equal share, or social convention may simply favor her male relatives or male partner. And poverty comes with many risks, like discrimination leaves women less resilient to this. And in an economic downturn, poor women are less likely to have savings and abilities to make up for lost income. So if we talk about achieving the SDG 1, it cannot be done without the upliftment of the women, or without the women empowerment. If we talk about SDG 2, that is end hunger, achieve food security, and improved nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Now, women prepare up to 90% of the meals in household around the world, not only in India, even around the world. If you see that all food preparation and that is done by women. Yet, times when are tough, women and girls may be the first to eat less. And that specifically we see in Indian economy and Indian society. Households headed by women may not eat enough simply because women earn at a lower levels and are less prepared to cope with sudden crises, and therefore those economy became or remain undeveloped. So that is again for SDG 2 also the role of women become very, very important for the sustainable development. If we talk about 3, then ensure healthy lives, promote well-being for all the ages. So that again women is the life creator, they give birth. So if they are not healthy, how can we expect any nation to be healthy? How can we expect future generations to be healthy? So therefore that is again related to women empowerment and the role of women. If we talk about SDG 4, okay, which talk about ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. So all developing regions of the world have achieved or almost achieved equal enrollment of boys and girls in primary school. Okay, but this is an historic accomplishment, but far from complete. Why? Because in even sub-Saharan African countries, only 23% of poor rural girls finish their primary education, even though enrollment rate or ratio is same, but they hardly complete their primary education. So gender gaps widen significantly in many countries in secondary and tertiary school. So for education to deliver, it must be inclusive and high quality. So active efforts should be taken to increase the enrollment ratio and to reduce the dropout ratio of female, okay, if you want sustainable development of your country. Then SDG 5, which directly talk about gender equality and empower all women and girls, and this is considered to be the most important sustainable goal defined by UN. So, and it is very clear that women empowerment is a precondition for sustainable development, and without women empowerment we cannot even think of sustainable development. And similarly, like other goals like ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all, or access to affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all. So whichever SDG we talk about, all moves around directly or indirectly women empowerment. And it is very clear that there is no sustainable growth without women empowerment. So women contribution to sustainable development must be recognized. Women have a strong role in education and socializing their children, including teaching them care and responsibility with regard to the use and protection of natural resources. More should be done to increase women's voice in environmental decision making and to enable women to seize opportunities in the green economy as well. More capacity building programs and training tailored to the needs of women are needed in the present scenario. And in community, in order to build women as catalyst for sustainable development, their role in family, community and society at large has to free from socio-cultural and religious traditions that prevent women participation. So there is a need for change of mindset, especially of the males who dominate the society. And I should say that all 365 days should be the Women's Day, not only just one Women Day. Okay, so we should celebrate our presence all the days, all the year around, and we are important. And we should, realize ourselves first. We have to motivate ourselves first that yes, we play a very, very important role, not only in the family, not only in the surrounding, but for the development of a nation as a whole and for the sustainable development of our country. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you once again. I wish you all happy Women's Day to all the days, all 365 days, not just one day for today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anuradha, for such a wonderful discourse. So we have just 2 more speakers left. So I request Aarti to call upon Anjali and Jyotsna one by one.
Sure. Next, we have with us Assistant Professor in the Management Department of Jagannath Institute of Management Studies. Dr. Jyotsna has a teaching experience of 8 years. She has completed her doctoral on the topic of workplace spirituality and its impact on employee efficacy in public and private colleges in Delhi. Dr. Jyotsna, please share your beautiful thoughts and insights with us.
So, a very warm welcome and good evening to all the beautiful ladies present over here. Good evening, Anuradha ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So, before moving ahead, I would like to start with a very beautiful quote given by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. To awaken the people, it's the woman who must be awakened. Once she is on the move, the family moves, the village moves, the nation moves. So, education is a milestone of women empowerment because it enables them to respond to challenges, to confront their traditional role, and to change their life. So, education is considered to be one of the way to spread the message of women empowerment. So, education not only educate a person but also help her to realize that she is a vital part to the society. So, in order to conclude, I would like to say that a number of women in the corporate world has been steadily increasing. So, now in the 21st century, when women are coming out in each field, empowering them is truly very essential, very important. So, we cannot ignore the importance of women education in reference to women empowerment. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jyotsna ma'am. That was beautiful and crisp, I would say.
Uh-huh.
A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform. With this thought, I call upon stage Miss Anjali Juneja. Miss Anjali has been attached with SAM Education Trust since 2015. She is responsible for being involved in the relevant training and workshops, making recommendations for improvement where feasible and appropriate, delivering the task and assigned with good time management, responsible for diligence and all right. Over to you, Miss Anjali.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Two gadgets are on.
Yes, ma'am, your voice is echo.
1 minute. Is it okay now? I think there's some problem with the microphone.
Which was one of your gadgets that you really have?
Sorry?
Are you on two gadgets?
Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you, but there are two devices around you. You need to remove one.
Just a minute. Is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you now.
Is it okay now?
Professor Namita's mic is on. Probably somebody can mute.
Miss Anjali, please begin.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Wishing everyone a very happy Women's Day. So, my today's topic is the role of women in economic development. Would like to quote, uh, the statement which is said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru that the condition of the nation can be judged by looking at the status of the woman. If we educate a man, that means we are educating an individual. But if we educate a woman, that means we are educating an entire family. If the females are well educated, they can economically grow well. Being focused on women empowerment, where the females should have an ability to exercise full control over one's own action. We have different levels of women empowerment: welfare, access, conscientization, mobilization, and control. By having these elements, females are required to access the resources and the services by which they can improve their status. By being more mobile, we give the larger movement to the women so that they can be successful with the wider struggle. Nowadays, the government and the non government organizations have done a lot in order to increase the status of women in our society. So, in the end, I would like to conclude the words said by Swami Vivekananda that the country and the nation which doesn't respect women will never become great, neither today nor in the future. So, it is our duty to give the respect to our females as they deserve the status. So, thank you for giving the opportunity to being a part of this event. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anjali ma'am. Thank you for your words and your thoughts. Rightly said, women's empowerment is intervened with respect for human rights. With this, I thank all the participants for joining us. My hearty thanks to Debre Tabor University for this collaboration. We look forward for many such collaborations in futures. I thank Dr. Bhupendra Kumar for organizing such an event uh, for Debre Tabor University and SLAM Education Trust. Thank you everyone for joining. The feedback form is
Thank
yes.
Thank you, Namta ma'am, Professor Namta ma'am. Thank you, Shivani. Thank you, Aarti. I have no suitable words. What we have done today on behalf of Debre Tabor University, I would like to give vote of thanks. I would request my dean also, if he's joined with me, to give vote of thanks to you. It's really wonderful event. All the presentations that we had today, though it is related to Women International Day, but as there is no separate universe for women and men, so we all are together. The equality would never come till the women will not, till the men will not give the space. So we wish that the purpose of Women International Day, the purpose of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, everybody is now aware that Sustainable Development Goals 2030 mostly they belongs to women, environment, poverty reduction, and I'm very happy that my university, Debre Tabor University, one of the best university in the world, not only in Africa, in the world. I have a little quite experience of other country. I am very much sure, convinced. I am very thankful for my university for allowing me to have a association with you all, with all professors, those I had today from India. Really, we have given the very good impression to Ethiopia, and all Ethiopians have given very good impression to India. So with these words, I wish that we continue for future, and I have no words more than thank you. Thank you, Namta ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. If there's any question, the forum is open, and then we will close the event. All right. Happy Women's Day to all the lovely human beings who took out time and shared their time with us and listened and cherished the views of dignitaries here. With this, I end the event. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, everyone.